Oh, sorry about that. I was just enjoying some Tyrannosaurus Rex steaks. Welcome to Jurassic World, also known as the modern caveman. Hey guys, gals, and all my cavemen out there. Welcome to the modern caveman. I'm Sean. Here we review gear, we go over training, and of course we do everything that has to do with that strenuous lifestyle. Today, I'm gonna tell you a secret. We are not in Jurassic World. We're actually in my house. But anyways, that aside, we're gonna go over, since it is November, it's a hunting month, we're gonna go over one of my favorite hunting rifles, and was happened to be the rifle that shoots T-Rexes, all right? And that is the Marlin 1895 SBL. So let's chat about this. First off, full disclosure as usual, this is my personal gun. I've shot black bears, I've shot whitetail, I've shot a few different variety of critters that now occupy my fridge with this thing. This is one of the most iconic guns. This is a firearm that my friends have similar versions of it. It shoots the iconic 45-70 government, which was actually one of the original black powder rifles, or sorry, black powder cartridges. It's very well known in a Winchester form from Theodore Roosevelt's gun. I believe, don't quote me on it, don't yell at me, but I believe he even shot an elephant out in Africa back in the days with it. This is a beast and a workhorse. So why do they call it a guide gun? Well, let's chat about that. First of all, we're looking at a pretty short barrel here. So usually you're gonna have 20 plus inches. This guy's shortened to 18.5 inches. It is made out of an amazing stainless steel, but the stainless steel aside, look how gorgeous this laminated stock is. It is one thing, this thing stands out. You can get it in multiple versions. They're very similar, the GBL, those are both the guide guns. Those come blacked out and you're gonna have your regular blued barrel and blued system. The stainless steel I like, this is meant for the bush. Why they call it a guide gun is just that. I know many guides that use this gun, especially here in Canada because we're no longer allowed handguns in the bush. So this is an ultimate alternative for both bear protection, but also for the hunting side as well. Lever action. It has multiple safeties. You can decock. It has a hammer safety as well. Start from the top. It actually comes with some pretty nice ghost ring sights. Unfortunately, and trust me, all those people that are yelling at me, why do you have a scope on this thing? It's because this eye's a little bit blurry. Next to that, I've actually put this particular one, even though I've talked about another Vortex on my Tavor X95 that I actually love. This particular one, the Crossfire, I wouldn't really recommend. This is a 1x4x24. Listen, the glass is nice. That's not the issue. I just find that it fogs up I don't know, it's a coating, the age that I bought it. This is about a 3-year-old rifle. I bought it at the same time. It's just, I would buck up a little bit and not get the Crossfire. That's my personal. If you'd like me to do a full review on that, please comment below and I'll get all over that anytime. Why do I like this firearm so much? Next to the fact that it looks cool, it is very handy. This firearm can fit in the back of your seat. It's a true truck gun. I mean, it's meant to have the big loop. So when you're hunting out in the bush and you have that massive glove on because it's minus 10 or minus 15 out in the bush, you don't have to worry about taking your glove off to activate it. It's very convenient, very easy to use. Accuracy wise on this guy, I was kind of blown away. I'm running between 1 and 1.5 MOA. Just to put this down, big guys, one of the reasons I think that it has such great accuracy next to the fact that it has a 1-in-6 twist. I'm not a gun nerd, so I can't give you the full specifics, but the rifling in this, have a chance to look that up. The rifling in this is extra deep, extra grooved, which really spins on that bullet, on that shorter barrel. But one of the other main reasons I highly recommend, the only ammunition that I really pumped through this guy, lever-lution? You know what I'm saying. And that is a 45-70, 325 grain. I actually probably will do a review on this round because I was incredibly impressed. The ballistic differences, I'm not gonna go over on this particular one, but because it's an innovative style, those of you know most lever actions, just by how they sit, have the blunted ends. And the reason why they have those blunted ends is so obviously they don't accidentally discharge another round. This guy, because it's plastic on the top, you get that point, it just creates a much flatter shooting rifle. I'm comfortable shooting at an animal to 250 yards with this guy, whereas most lever action, especially with the short barrel, you know, they're designed for under 100 yards. That's my personal opinion anyway. The impact, one of the things I can also say about this particular ammunition is that it just creates that my gun loves it. Shooting a 1 or 108, a 1 to 1.5 MOA from a short barrel 45-70 at 100 yards, it's kind of unheard of. You know, you don't really find that very often. Most of them you're happy with 2+, 2.5, which is still fine. Definitely within hunting guidelines, etc., even military guidelines, to be honest. So anyways, back to this bad boy, back to the reason that we're reviewing it. So obviously this design is pretty withstanding. It's been around forever. It's reliable as sin. I've probably put through just over 600 rounds through this firearm. So comparatively to my ARs and so on and so forth, that's nothing, but you gotta remember there's a lot of boom and a lot of kick, and that's lots of money to be firing that many rounds to this bad boy. I would say overall, there is some controversy about this, not even this firearm, but the manufacturer in general. And there was a time in the late 2000s that it switched over from Marlin as we know it, got bought out by a conglomerate, Remington, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna go into that, but y'all know. So be wary of the ones if you're buying, if it's secondhand, because there are a few of them that I've heard absolute nightmares on. This particular one has been flawless. Like I said, it's only 3 years old. Everybody I've talked to, most of the gun store owners I have a chance to chat with, they say similar things. If you're buying a brand new one, they haven't heard of much issues. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't think that you were gonna have issues with it. But if you are buying used, find out what age, what group, go see it, play with it. Even a lot of those older used ones, it was more tolerances and things that had issues. A lot of people fixed them up with gunsmiths, so on and so forth. So you might find something that was great. For myself, this guy has been flawless in the bush. There's nothing more I feel secure about than carrying this. This really is a grizzly thumper. You're not gonna really worry about too much. And it's really portable. When I throw it over my shoulder, you know, you feel it because it is a little bit of a heavier gun. You're probably running a 9-pound system when you have the scope on it, but it really does feel compact. When I bring it up, it's kind of similar to almost like, I don't want to say AR style, but when you bring it up, you feel that compactness. You can get, especially if you're gonna have a low power optic like this from a 1-4, 1-6, 1-8, something like that, you do get those sightline very quickly on it. So it is easy target acquisition. And with some kind of magnification similar to this, or a scope similar to this, you're gonna be able to acquire that target even with both eyes open, not an issue. So like I mentioned, let's start from the top, one more quick time here. This is obviously your tubular magazine. Here it's 3+1, might be more elsewhere. It is side loading. In Canada, and I'm just saying the rules here, when we're hunting, we're not allowed to drive around with obviously a loaded firearm. One of the things though I like, if you're driving around and you're on your way out to your hunting spot and all of a sudden you see some kind of game or whatever it is, obviously in your legal area, what I like about this particular one, this pinches a little bit. They are a little bit tougher to load. So it's not something you're gonna run through. But in this particular design, pop it in, throw one in the chamber, and you're ready to discharge. Okay, so like I mentioned, starting from the top, you have those ghost sight rings. They're very nice. I started off with them, like I said, it's just my eyes didn't handle them because I got the stigmatism going on. But that being said, it is, and I correct, it's 1 in 20, I believe, right hand twist, but they do have some deep grooves. It shoots well. The overall fit and finish of this particular one is immaculate. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. A couple of things to talk about with this particular firearm is not only how it sits and how it has the groove, but how it positions into your shoulder. I kind of mentioned that before. You expect a much larger kick than you're going to, and that's probably in part with the generous butt pad that they put at the end here. If you've never shot a 45-70 before, it really has more of a push than a kick. If you compare it to a lot of other hunting firearms like Magnum calibers, like 300 Win Mag, so on and so forth, or 7mm mag, any of those, they're much sharper. You're gonna notice on this, you have more of a push than versus a sharp pain. So even with my 300 or 338 mags, when I let those guys fly, I get bruised up if I'm doing 20 or 30 rounds at the range. This guy, I'm never gonna feel anything like that. So it's very compact. And it, even though it's compact, even though it's a larger caliber, with the butt pad and everything, you don't really have to be scared of this gun. In comparison, why would I say choose the GBL, or sorry, the SBL versus the GBL? It's very simple. I love the looks of it. Stainless steel, I'll always go over stainless steel over blued. And that's just because I don't take care of guns as well as I should. So I'm just being full disclosure on that. But also the Picatinny rail is nice, so you can mount whatever kind of optic you want. I know quite a few guys that actually mount red dots on these just because they are bush guns. They're meant for that closer distance. So quick acquisition and not having to worry about anything. It makes it very easy. Overall, I would highly recommend this firearm. Before I get into some of the negatives, let's go ahead and pull this trigger. So really no creep, which is beautiful. This gun, when you point and pull, it goes off. But really what it comes down to is you're running at about a 4.5 pound trigger, which is nice. It's nice and crisp. You really are just at the wall right away. There is no creep. You're pulling and it's going off. So if you're not used to a firearm without a creep, now you can. As far as reset, that doesn't exist because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a hammer and you're gonna have to recock it like that anyways. Bang. So I mean, if you're out in the market for something that can shoot Tyrannosaurus Rex, or maybe a moose, this guy is probably one that I would recommend. Any of the versions of them, they're all great. My friend has a blued version. He takes care of his firearms better than I do. You can always mount a Picatinny rail. I guess the biggest downside here in Canada about this particular firearm is price point. So here you're looking on average $1,400 to $1,600. I ended up stealing this of a great deal at $1,100 a few years back on a Christmas special. And a lot of these do go on specials. Check out your local stores. But I would highly say, I would say this is kind of a gun that you can pass on generation to generation. It's the kind of gun that will last forever, and it really has never malfunctioned or let me down. It's a classic design. If you're into the bush and want to get something other than your standard hunting firearm, like this Tika, for example, you want to get something that's more compact. It's a little bit expensive to be called a truck gun, but something that you can bring in a bush. Maybe you are a guide. Maybe you are somebody that just likes to hunt in the thick stuff. And if you check out Iraq Veteran 888, he compares the differences between bush calibers are. And one of the guns that he's using is very similar to this. The 4570 is a brush killer. It goes right through everything and still does the job. Whereas that 300 Win will nick off whatever, and you'll probably have a hard time getting your target. If there's anything else you want me to review, please put it down. You know, I love killing Tyrannosaurus Rex with this thing. I love eating its meat. And if you're into the same kind of stuff, subscribe, do all the stuff YouTube people do, like push that notification button, comment, talk whatever kind of shit you want to talk down there. I want to hear it. Make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. Make fun of everybody else. Let's have a good time. And thank you for watching The Modern Caveman.